Hey there, welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. I'm Jamin, and this is my lovely wife and assistant, Wendy.
Hey.
Tonight we are talking about how to jazz up a cover. So we're going to take chords. If you've never heard of chords, that's fine, because this is the beginner lesson. I'm going to show you how to play them. And we're going to try to turn them from just like regular old chords to something a little bit jazzier. So tonight we're going to use the song Summertime Sadness. So hopefully you've heard of that song before. If not, that's fine. I'll play it for you. You do need the PDF, so go ahead and download the PDF right now if you haven't done that already. And that will look something like this. It will not look like that. Let's try this one. There we go. It'll look something like... There we go. Much, much better. Something like this. At the very bottom is what you would get if you were looking up chords for Summertime Sadness. So I just pulled this straight off of ultimateguitar.com. I had looked up the chords for this song, and it told me that I'm supposed to be playing an A, a C sharp minor, a B, and an F sharp minor. And if you're here in the beginner lesson, that probably is nonsense to you. So we're going to take a look at those each individually. The first thing that we want to play is an A. Now, right above that on your PDF, I've got this chart where it's got all of these different letters and stuff. This is the part that we want to take a look at right here. We're looking for chord names. Now, we've got two main categories for chords. They're going to be either major chords or minor chords. We're going to talk about how to jazz up major chords, and then we're going to talk about how to jazz up minor chords. So this one over here, if you just see, like it just says the letter C, or it just says the letter D flat or D, or in the case of our song, it just says A, like that, then you want to take a look at this left side of the chart here. So we've got two sides. We've got the major side that just says the chord name, and then the other side, which is minor chords. We'll get there in a second. So the first one we have is A major. We're going to play the first note, which is an A. It's right in, if you take a group of 3 black notes, it's towards the top of the group of 3 black notes. So we got an A right there. Don't worry about the B. We'll be playing the B later. But we want to get to the next one, which is not a C, but a C sharp. So it's that note right there. So we want an A and a C sharp. And then the next note is an E, this one right here. We're going to play them all 3 at the exact same time, just like that. So we've got an A, a C sharp, and an E. That's what they mean when Ultimate Guitar or your friends or any other music that you find online says A. They mean A, C sharp, and E. So that's the first thing that we have to play when we're playing this Summertime Sadness song is an A, C sharp, and E. Now the next one says C sharp minor. So now it's time to use that other side of the chart. We're going to go look for a C sharp with a minus sign next to it. If we go towards the top, we've got right here, C sharp is actually the same thing as D flat. So we've got C. When C is sharp, it's this one right here. When D is flat, it's this one right here. So C sharp and D flat are the same exact note. So again, we've got D. This one is D flat. We've got C. This one is C sharp, because the sharps go up. So if this is D, then this one right here would be D sharp. It would also be, if we take E and come back down, this is E flat. So each of the black notes has a double name. This note right here can either be C sharp or it can be D flat. So we're looking for D flat with a minus sign on it, and we come up with these notes right here. We want D flat, and then we're going to have an F flat. So this is our F. We're going to go down 1 from F. That's our flat. So we got D flat, F flat, because this was F, and now this is F flat. And then our last one that we're going to play is that A flat that you see on the chart. This is A flat. So again, flats go down, sharps go up. For this, the one that says C sharp minor, we want this one, and that one. That's going to be our C sharp minor. So back to the top again. We've got an A chord, A, C sharp, and E. And then a C sharp minor, which is the same thing as D flat minor, which is that one, and that one, and that one. Those are our first 2 chords for this song, A and C sharp or D flat minor. Let's try that along with the song. So get ready on your A, and that's your A. That's the D flat or C sharp minor. We'll go again. Ready, and A, C sharp minor. We got 2 more chords. We'll come back. Here comes your A, C sharp minor. We want those last 2 chords. Let's check them out real quick here. We've got a B right here. So as you can imagine, a B chord is going to have a B in it, but we don't know what other notes we're going to need. Let's go up and find the one that just says B. Now, since this doesn't have a minus sign next to it, it doesn't say minor, or it doesn't have a little m, that means we're going to be on this major side over here with just the regular old letters by themselves, no minus sign, no anything. So we got a B, and then you can see we're going to skip over that C sharp. We'll get to it in a second. We're going to go to a D sharp. Now, again, this is D. Flats go down and sharps go up. So if this is D, then that one right there is going to be D sharp. And then the next one that we need is an F sharp. So this is your F right here, and then sharps go up and flats go down. That's going to be that note right there. This is the chord that we want to play for the one that just says B. So that's our B. Let's go back to the top. We had, the first one is A, and then C sharp or D flat minor. That one right there. The next chord is going to be a B. That one right there. Now, this is probably going to take some practice because it's a lot of notes to remember to play all at the same time. But once you practice it up, we'll have A, C sharp minor, and then B. We only have 1 chord left, and that is our F sharp minus. And the F sharp minus means F sharp minor, and that means we're going to be on the minor side. Let's look for one that says F sharp. And again, we don't have one that says F sharp, so we got to think of another name for F sharp. This is F. Sharps go up, flats go down. That one right there is F sharp. That's the chord that we want, but I don't see any F sharps on here, so we're going to look for another name for this. It could be G flat. F sharp and G flat are the same thing. Let's see if we could find a G flat minor. And it's right there. Let's play these notes right here. So we've got G flat is going to be the first note for our F sharp minor chord, because F sharp and G flat are the same thing. The next one is a B with 2 flats on it. So let's go to B, and then flats go up, sharps go down. So, I'm sorry, flats go down, sharps go up. Here we go. This is B. We're going to go right here. That would be a B flat. This one right here would be the one that is B with 2 flats. It's called B double flat. So this is B, B flat, B double flat. This stuff is way easier to play than to understand. So once you figure out what the notes are, just try to memorize the shapes and don't worry about figuring out what a B double flat is every time. So we've got G flat, we've got B double flat, and the next one that we want is a D flat. This one's going to be a lot easier. Here's our D, and here's D flat. That right there is the one that we want for a G flat minor, which is the same thing as F sharp minor. So here we go. Back to the original. Our chords are A, C sharp minor, B, and then F sharp minor, which are those 3. And again, once you have the notes all figured out, then just memorize what the shape is. All right, so it's this one, the bottom of the group of 3, and then a bottom of a group of 2, and then this one in between, just playing those notes. Because our goal is just to play music, not to understand every little detail of what we're doing. So we've got A, C sharp minor, B, F sharp minor. Let's see what that sounds like with the song.
I got my red dress on tonight, dancing in the dark in the pale moonlight.
F sharp minor,
Throw my hair up real
C,
big, beauty queen style.
C sharp minor,
High heels off,
B.
I'm feeling alive. Oh,
So we've got A, C sharp minor, B, F sharp minor. Now we can play the song just like they play on the recording. However, the name of this lesson is Jazzing Up Covers. So now we want to make this thing sound a little bit cooler. The first thing we're going to do is add in that note that we were skipping over. The one up on the top of the column says 2. We want to add in the 2 now. So when it's time to play the A chord, before we were playing the A, the C sharp, and the E. but now we want to throw that B in right there. And you can already tell that one kind of sounds like a regular chord. Once we throw that one in, it kind of like makes the chord sound a little bit thicker, a little bit jazzier. So, and that's pretty much what we're going to do for all of these chords, is just take the note that is in between the first two notes, find the one that's in between, and we're going to play that one. You can check the chart, or you can just throw in the note and see if it works. So we've got the A chord with that one thrown in now. And then we've got the C sharp minor. We can throw in this note right here, and you can hear that sounds a lot jazzier than just the chord by itself. Now we go to the B. We're going to throw in the note that's in between the first two notes. It's that one right there. And then the last one, the F sharp minor. This one right here, we're going to throw in this note right here. The one that's in between that note and that note is going to be that one. And again, you can check the chart for, anytime you have any chords at all that you find on the internet and you want to jazz them up, you can go to this chart. If it says G flat minor, if it says E flat minor, if it says C major, any of those, just check the chart and it will tell you exactly the letters to play. So we've got the A with that note, that jazzy note thrown in there. We've got this chord, the C sharp minor, with that one thrown in. And then the B with that note thrown in. And then F sharp minor with that note thrown in. Let's play that along with them and see what that sounds like. Let's go from the top. Here we go. Here's the B, here's the F sharp minor. Here we go now with our jazzy notes. So now let's take all of them out of it. Your MP3 this week is this same set of 4 chords repeated over and over, except the actual chord isn't in there. It's just the drums and the bass, and then you get to add in your chords. So let's take all of them out. Let's use the track here. I'll play that for you. And here we go. Here is the same chords, the A, the C sharp minor, the B, and the F sharp minor with those extra notes thrown in. C sharp minor, B, F sharp minor, So it sounds a little bit fuller, a little bit bigger than just the regular chords by themselves would. So that's adding in one extra note. We've got one other note on the other side of the chord that we can also add in. Let's do that, and that's going to be the entire lesson. We're just adding in the notes that are in between the first two in a chord, and then we've got a note on the other side. This one that we add in right here is called the 2 because it's just one note away from the root, which is normally called the 1. So if this is the 1, that would be the 2, and then we've got the 3. And that's why those numbers are there on the top, is because this is the 1 of the chord, this is the 2 of the chord, this is the 3 of the chord, and this is the 5 of the chord. Now let's take a look at the 7s, adding in the 7s. We've got the 1, the 3, the 5. We're going to be skipping over that 2. And if we want to go down to the A, we can see the note that we would add in to make this chord sound a little bit jazzier. A, C sharp, E, and then the 7 would be G sharp, which is right here because G is right here. And one note up from G is going to be G sharp. And this sounds very jazzy. So this is the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7. And it's just a little skip up from the last note of your chord. So if this is your chord right here, we're just going to take a little skip up and land on that one. You'll need to use the chart so you can know exactly how far to skip, whether it's that one, that one, that one, that one in there. So then if we go to the C sharp minor, which again, remember that's the D flat minor. The notes that we had were D flat, F flat, A flat, and now we're going to go to C flat, which if this is C right here, we're going to play this one right here. This is right below C. C flat, also known as B, that's what we're going to play for the C sharp minor. So we've got A, C sharp minor. The B, the note that we're going to add in is this one right here. It's on your chart. And then the last one is the F sharp minor, which is F sharp, A, C sharp, and then this E right here. So again, our chords are A, C sharp minor, B, F sharp minor. Here we go with the track. There you go. It's going to take some practice, especially to start memorizing these so that when you see an A, you automatically know what note you can add in. But at least now you have the chart. You can start working on some of these chords for some songs that maybe you already know how to play. You take those same chords and add in these other jazzy notes and hopefully make them sound a little bit cooler. Now is the time where you should send in your questions. You do that by putting your name and your question in the box below this video, and my lovely moderator will give me those questions, and we'll get all of them answered before we leave the lesson. Before I answer your questions, I want to make sure you know how to use the MP3 that you've got for this week. You've already heard the first section of it where I play the melody and we've got the bass and the drums underneath it. A little ways into it, I actually switch and play the chords on the track, and then you're allowed to noodle around. Let me show you what notes you want to use to noodle around here. We want to use an E, an F sharp. Now you know what a sharp is. This is F, this is F sharp. Well, you want to use a G sharp, that note right there, and then an a B, and then the last two sharps that you could have, C sharp and D sharp. This is called the key of E because E is kind of the most important note in this set of notes. So this is E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. And you can use those ones right there, or you could start down here and use these ones, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. But those are the notes that you'll want to use to noodle around. So practice playing the chords first while I'm playing the melody on the track, and then once I switch to the chords, then you get to play around here with those notes, and let's try that. So here's where you practice the chords. Still playing the melody, so you're still playing the chords. Now, you hear the chords, it's time to noodle around. We've got this note, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Now it's time to go back to the chords. C sharp minor, we're back to the B, F sharp minor, A, C sharp minor, and then we switch again. Back to the chords again. And it goes on like that for about 4 minutes, so you can practice playing the chords and then noodling around in the key of E, and then back to the chords and noodling around in the key of E, and have some fun that way with this song. And it's time for your questions. What do we have first?
Yeah, talking about the C sharp or the D flat, if you're notating music, what's the rule of thumb to choose between which one's the proper one to use?
That's a great question. Well, I'll just actually list for you there's only 5 really that we have questions about. This one right here is usually known as D flat instead of C sharp. This one right here is usually known as E flat instead of D sharp. This one could go either way. About half the time it's called F sharp, about half the time it's called G flat. This one is usually called A flat, and this one's usually called B flat. So in almost every case you're going to use flats unless you're talking about this one right here. You might call this one an F sharp. I think that's about it. This one could also go either way, but it's more often called D flat than it is C sharp. So generally you're going to see a lot of flats and not very many sharps on the black notes. Think that answered the question?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Next one is, I know they're on the chart, but could you go over why there's different types of 7s?
Different types of 7s. I don't quite understand that question. Different types of 7s. Yeah, I don't know. I can tell you that in some cases, like on this song here, this one right here, we've got this chord right here that we played for the A. Then this one right here that we played for the C sharp minor. This one right here, you could either play this one, or it might sound better if you take that 7 and you lower it. So in a lot of cases, you have the choice of either playing the 7 that's listed or the note that is a half step lower than that, and that's called a dominant 7. But that's more like an intermediate or advanced lesson type of thing. We're going to be getting into a lot of that stuff tomorrow night, actually, and the night after that. So there are different types of 7s. And so if that's what you're referring to, then yeah, in some cases you're going to want to use the one that's listed. In some cases you're going to want to use the lowered one. Don't do that with any of the minor chords though. So if you want to play like a C sharp minor, that one right there, you wouldn't play that one probably. And you're almost never going to play the one that's higher than that. It's almost in every case the one that's listed there on the chart. But the major ones do sometimes have a 7 that's a little bit lower. Next question.
What style would it sound like if you added the 4 or the 6 instead of like the 2 and the 7?
You could add in the 6, and that wouldn't necessarily sound like any particular style, but it wouldn't sound bad. If you add in the 4, it's going to sound bad. That would sound something like on the A. If you added in the 4, it's going to sound like this. You got all those notes just right next to each other. So it's not going to sound real good. The 4 on the C sharp minor, and the 4 on the B, and then the 4 on the F sharp minor. It's not going to sound real good. So you could add in the 6, and like I said, I don't think it sounds like any particular style. Maybe a little bit country, if anything. But the 7 definitely has that jazzy sound to it. Next question.
That's it.
All right, cool. Well, next week we're doing chord voicings. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you tell a friend to go ahead and take our survey and let us know how we can better serve you. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.